Right, for this tutorial we're going to look at simplifying algebraic fractions. For this you do need to know how to factorise, so if you're not sure of factorising, I would go to the factorising tutorial on the OneNote and look through that and then come back to this. Right, so the first one I'm going to look at is b squared minus 4 over b plus 2. So this has come from one of the worksheets on the practice questions. I'm going to do a few from here and then you can go and look at some of these. Simplify the following by factorising the numerator and or denominator if we can. So we're looking to see if we can factorise either the numerator or the denominator here. We can see that we can factorise the numerator, so I'm just going to pull this out to the side and we can substitute it back in a moment. So b squared minus 4, when we're factorising we say, is there a highest common factor? No, there's not. Is it a difference of two squares? Yes, it is. There's a b squared and 4 is also a squared number. You have your difference with that minus sign in the middle. So you do your double brackets. B is the first term in each bracket. Square root of 4 is 2. So 2 is your second term in each bracket. 1 plus and 1 minus. Once you factorise, we can substitute that back into the equation. B plus 2 on the bottom, we can't factorise that. So we're just factorising the numerator this time. So that goes to b plus 2, b minus 2, over b plus 2. So one of our factors on the top is b plus 2. Because it's a factor, because we're actually multiplying, we can then cancel out that b plus 2 on the numerator, and then on the numerator and the denominator, and they simplify each to 1. So then if we were to tidy that up, we would have 1 times b minus 2, it's just b minus 2, over 1, which we would just write as b minus 2. And so that's your first example of simplifying an algebraic fraction, sorry. Let's look at another one. This time we're going to look at one where we maybe need to factorise both the numerator and denominator. So I'm going to do a squared minus b squared over 3a plus 3b. So first of all I'm going to take the numerator out and see if I can factorise that. So I have a squared minus b squared. So factorising, is there a highest common factor? No. Is it a difference of two squares? Yes. So double bracket. A is the first term and b is the second term, plus and minus because it's a difference of two squares. Now I'm going to take out the denominator. And we have 3a plus 3b. Is there a highest common factor? Yes, there is. 3 is a highest common factor, so we pull 3 out. Open the brackets, and that becomes a plus b inside the brackets, a plus b. Right, we can substitute both of them back in now. So instead of a squared minus b squared, we're going to have a plus b brackets a minus b over 3 brackets a plus b. We can see that a plus b is a factor on both, so they both simplify to 1. So on the numerator we have a minus b, and on the denominator we have 3. And that's you simplified another algebraic fraction. Right, let's look at another one. This time I'm going to do c squared plus 2c minus 15 over c squared minus 25. So right now there's nothing we can cancel out. Just be really careful. We can only cancel out things that you can cancel out of each term or if it's a factor. So you can't start cancelling c's out until we've factorised here. Alright, so let's take the numerator. And we're going to factorise that. So we have c squared plus 2c minus 15. Is there a highest common factor? No. Is it a difference of two squares? No, so instead it's a trinomial. We have a squared term, the c and the constant. So we put multiply, add, multiply. So in our double brackets, we're multiplying to c squared, so we've got c and c. These two we need to match up, so we're multiplying towards negative 15 and we're adding towards positive 2. So we need two factors that multiply to negative 15 and add to 2. Our factors of 15, we have 1 and 15, 3 and 5. 3 and 5 sound like they're going to work. So we need a negative 15, which means one of them needs to be negative. We need to get to positive 2, which means we're going to take away 3 and add 5. So now once we've got them, we can put them back into our brackets. Minus 3 plus 5. Alright, let's look at the denominator now. We've got c squared minus 25, so we're going to have to factorise that as well. So pulling that out over here. C squared minus 25. Is there a highest common factor? No. Is there a difference of 2 squares? Yes. So we've got c squared and 25, double brackets. Square root of c squared is c. Square root of 25 is 5. And then plus and minus. So we've factorised both the numerator and the denominator, and we can now substitute that back in. So for the numerator, we've got c minus 3, c plus 5. And for the denominator, we have c plus 5, c minus 5. Right, hopefully you can see that there's a c plus 5 on the numerator and the denominator. So they simplify just to 1 on each one. So you're just left with c minus 3 on the top over c minus 5. That's you simplified. Right, I'm going to do a couple more. They don't get much more difficult, so if you do want to try some of your own, you can. I'm going to do now one where we're factorising a trinomial that has a coefficient in front of the x squared. Right, this is the last one I'm going to do. I'm going to do 3x squared plus 5x minus 2 over x squared minus 4. Alright, so taking the numerator out to factorise. Got 3x squared plus 5x minus 2. Is there a highest common factor? No, there's not. It's not a difference of 2 squares, so we're looking at a trinomial. Now, this one's got a coefficient in front of the x squared, so we're going to include that here. We're going to use a slightly different method, which you can look back on in the factorising tutorials. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, so we're finding something that multiplies to negative 6 and adds to 5. So negative 6, it could be 1 and 6, and that looks good. So 1 and 6. We're trying to get to negative 6, so 1 has to be negative. Positive 5, so it's going to be negative 1 and plus 6. So slightly different here. We then do 3x squared. Break up that 5x into minus x minus 1x from using this 1 plus 6x. You still have the minus 2. Then take the highest common factor out of each side. Highest common factor here is x, and then 3x minus 1 inside the bracket. Plus is our symbol here. Highest common factor here would be 2, and then 3x minus 1 in this bracket as well, which is good. Our brackets have matched, which means we have one bracket we take from x plus 2, and 3x minus 1, our repeated bracket there, is our other bracket. Right, so we've factorised the numerator. Factorising the denominator now. X squared minus 4. Is there a highest common factor? No. Is it a difference of 2 squares? Yes, it is again. So hopefully you've got this. X goes as the first term. Square root of 4 is 2, plus and minus. So we're going to substitute both of them back in. On the numerator, we've got x plus 2, 3x minus 1. And on the denominator, we have x plus 2, x minus 2. So you can see that we've got simplifying these both to 1. And so you've got 3x minus 1 over x minus 2. And that is you for simplifying algebraic fractions.